after scoring a hat trick, of course.
Which T does all the time. Scores against York United.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to OneSoccer. I'm your host for today, Josh Deming, joined by my colleague Alex Gangue-Ruzic, and our two special guests, Terran Campbell and Dominic Samuel. So, guys, I just want to start off. I know you're a little tired from the travel back from Mexico. You guys did play Chivas in a pretty heated two-leg affair. So, Terran, what did you make of the experience?
Yeah, it was a great experience for the team. It was our second time being in the competition, so I think we were a bit more prepared coming into this one. Obviously not the result we were looking for, but still a great experience to play in that stadium over there.
I guess kind of on that back to that point, it is a special stadium, like you mentioned, such a cool one to see on TV. It looked like a great crowd. Dom, just how special was it to play in an environment like that? Such a historic venue.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really special. I think it's always special to kind of play in those environments, just to get such a crowd that is so passionate about, soccer and their club. It's like a really incredible experience just to be in there and playing. So,
and obviously those environments too are very tough to play in. I mean, we've seen MLS teams struggle to go Mexico, play their way to even score goals. What does it say about you guys as a club that you've gone to Mexico twice now? You've scored at the Azteca, you've scored at the Akron, You've played your way of football. And what does that kind of mean about Forge's ethos that you've kind of stuck to that? Maybe both of you on that one.
No, I think it just shows how dedicated we are to, getting the job done and to, following the tactics that our coach puts together. And we're very motivated. And yeah, we go there to get results. And yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't go our way. That's football. But being able to go down there and produce some goals is it's a big thing. So it just shows how tough we are.
Yeah, and to add on to Dom's point, I would say it goes to show how far this club and this league has come since 2019. We obviously lost the game in Estadio Akron, but to put up a goal and lose 2-1 for a league and a club that's only been here for 5 or so years, not too bad.
It's facts.
I guess just to throw it to you, Terran, what have you found to be the big lesson playing in Concacaf Champions Cup? Because obviously we know it's a step up in level, the travel, the caliber of teams you've played, but through these 4 games you've done at this, what have kind of some of the things you've noticed and taken away from the experience?
Yeah, like you said, I think there's just levels to the game. I think the day before the game, we got to play on the train on the stadium. So just being in that atmosphere, seeing how big the stadium was, it's just a big shock. It's like a wow moment. So yeah, it was really cool.
So Dom, I want to rewind a little bit here because I did a video with the Barton Street Battalion for the final last year, and I was a part of the supporter section for the final, and I saw you in there as well. So I'm curious to see how special it is for you to create that type of connection with the supporters, because they really seem to love you.
Yeah, no, I love them. They're, for me, obviously, I could be a little bit biased, but they're the best CPL fans in the league by far. I always like to be part of the community. And so, especially in 2019, when I missed the first leg of the finals, and I had to sit that one out. I wanted to kind of get in there and make sure that the fans were behind us, that and so that's why I kind of ended up in that fan section. And then from there, we've just been building that relationship, and it's year 6 and they're family to me, and so everything's good. I love them, they love me, and yeah.
I had a great time making that vlog. They were fantastic to work with. You look very stylish in the crowd. I barely recognized you. Alex had a text me. He's like, "Man, Dom's up there. Go get him." But you were gone by the time I went looking for you. But
I know.
I also noticed a sign up there that said, "If Dom scores, we riot." And I think you scored in preseason. So
I did.
You did?
There might have been a little bit of a riot, but not too much. But I'm hoping that this year I can actually make that happen, and we'll see how it goes. it could get a little rowdy, but you never know. You never know.
So, Terran, switching over to you, how special was that goal you scored against Chivas? I know you kind of touched on it, but I want to know where it would rank in terms of basically all the goals you've scored, because I'd imagine there's probably maybe not like a bigger goal in terms of the opponent, but is there one out there that's maybe a little bit more special?
I'm not sure. I haven't really given it time to think about just yet. Obviously, it was a special moment for myself scoring against a club like Chivas. So I was proud of myself for getting a goal. Unfortunate with that we didn't get to win along with it, but yeah, it was a good moment for me.
I'll say, like Dom mentioned, Terran, you've scored a lot of goals, so yeah, maybe some of them slipped the memory, but I kind of wanted to ask you about that because, you know, you're the all-time CPL top goal scorer. You know, you've done it over 5 years, being consistent. And that's kind of the question I have for you, especially in a small league. Like, there's a lot of scouting. Some of your defenders you're going up against have played you 10, 15 times. They've studied your tape. It can be tough to be a striker. So I'm kind of curious for you, what are some ways that you try to adapt, evolve your game, and you know, what are some things you try to do to kind of stay ahead of the curve as you have to do to score goals in this league?
Yeah, well, I think coming to Forge, I've learned a lot, getting coached by Bobby and his staff. So just year by year, getting better, getting more mature within the game. And then I think what I do best is putting the ball in the back of the net. So yeah, I find my spots and I do my job.
You know, Dom, this is a big year for Forge because you have a second attempt at the three-peat, you know, in terms of playoff titles. First time around, you guys fell to Pacific. You get this third chance. Of course, personally, Terran and Alessandro have had that, so I'm sure they might mess with you a bit. But how big of a goal is that for you guys this year to get that three-peat?
It's massive. You know, I think we've set that standard for us. You know, everybody says that like we are like the legacy. We've already kind of done that, but I feel like that was our goal from the beginning. And like you said, we fell short to Pacific that one year, which was incredible. It was a great game. It's just, you know, that year was kind of, it was tough to end that way. So we've always had that like chip on our shoulder to, okay, like we're going to win next year. Okay, now that we won, we have that target on our back. We're going to win again. You know, we have to take it one level up. And so to be able to do that this year again would be like an incredible achievement, not only for me, but I think for the club as well. And so like we're really striving for that.
Now, Terran, last season, the Cavs had a fantastic campaign. You guys got off to a bit of a slow start. So how important is it going to be to get off to a good start this year and compete for the title?
Really important. I think playing at Forge, this club wants to win. So it's going to be really important to us to finish at the top of the table and do well in the postseason. But I think coming in early for this competition is going to help us build our chemistry. We're in sooner than all the other teams besides Calgary. So, yeah, I think coming in early will be our biggest preparation, and it'll do a lot for us in the beginning of the season.
I guess, Dom, just heading into this season is something to watch. You know, Forge, you've lost some key players, but that happens every year, right? That's the nature of winning. You end up losing good players. And, you know, you guys got some guys who people want to step up internally. Kavan Tavernier, Kadeem Kane, some of the youngsters that we saw in this tie. I'm kind of curious because you've been there since day one. How important is it to have that culture where when guys, you know, move on, you have youngsters willing to step up, you have new signings willing to step up, and what does that kind of say about the culture you have there?
I think it says a lot. You know, from day one, we've kind of built this culture that like you come here to win, and so once you sign, like that's like that's your only mentality. And so with the young boys that are here, guys like us, like me, for example. You know, we set the example and we kind of guide them to how they should be doing things here. Like always at 110%, you know, training like you would play a game kind of thing, doing everything at like game speed, blah, 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 stuff like that. And so when it comes to time that like people move on and that they need to step up, you know, they're ready for it. And as you can see, like, you know, KJ doing his thing, scoring a goal in the Champions Cup, right? You know? So like people like Kwesi Poku, like he's had a phenomenal time here, and he's gonna have to step up this year, which I think he has. Unfortunately, picks up a knock in the game, whatever. But I think he's gonna do massive things this year. He's gonna step up. He's gonna do his thing. Kadeem, same thing.
Good to hear. Now, speaking of players moving on, Terran, your striker partner, Rubens Pasillas, secured a move to Nashville this week. I want to know your thoughts on seeing him make that move and maybe what it means for Forge's ability to push players to a higher level while also maintaining a winning team.
Yeah, I think it's really good for Rubens. I'm happy for him. I had a lot of fun playing striker with him. I think last year we played with 2 strikers for majority of the season, so I had a really fun time with Rubens. And I think it just says a lot about this club. You see great players come in and they go. Same with Manjakar. He went on to another club doing big things. So happy for him.
I guess just a bit the last question. This one's for you, Terran. Last year, a fun moment. You scored against York. You did a bit of a rocking the baby celebration. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe could you explain for those maybe not familiar why you did that celebration? And fittingly, you played York in week 2. So might you have something up your sleeve to kind of add fuel to the fire to what is always a fun derby between you guys and your neighbors?
The celebration, something from Russell Westbrook. I watch a lot of basketball. So he does that when he usually drives in, bullies his opponent. So it felt right doing it in that moment. After scoring a hat trick, of course.
Which T does all the time. Scores against York United.
Yeah, he scored quite a few goals against them last campaign. But guys, that's all the questions we have for today. I appreciate the time and best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.